As promised, I felt inspired to deliver today's live the topic on how to stop living in a distorted reality and to start living a meaningful, more fulfilling life. My name is Karen Griffith. I hope you can see the fireplace. I thought it'd be nice and relaxing to look at as I talk about this topic, and hopefully you get something out. It's my plan that you get something out of it and maybe some nuggets to take away and work on. So as you know, I cover all the good things and the in-between on happiness, wellness and mental fitness. I believe today's topic is along the lines of mindset, mental fitness, which is why I'm suggesting to open up to the idea of having an artistic, like paintbrush approach, engineered mindset, so that you're bringing together linear, non-linear processes, ways of thinking, adding colour to your life, hence this background to sort of put some fire underneath you. So without further ado, it's understanding you just can't control others. It's wasted energy. The more you understand and see it, the less inclined you are to even attempt. Yeah, and when you do find yourself trying to control others, I would invite you to observe yourself, really noticing the ways that it shows up for you, where you're trying to convince others, and maybe redirect lovingly that focus, time, energy and attention to self. The good news is you can control how you respond to situations, circumstances and events, and engage with reality rather than to wait for favourable circumstances to take shape. So I really urge you and hopefully inspire you to go create those favourable circumstances, those that are in line with your values, what matters, what's important to you, because only you can know that. And unfortunately, we live in a world where we're often misdirected and distracted by things that don't matter, not meaningful, and not actually contributing to your wellness or that of others. So I'd like you to bear that in mind as I progress this topic. So it's consideration that you could be trapped in a box. I'll explain why that might be. So as you break out of the box, which is the reality, how you perceive it, or realities, and break out of whatever limiting beliefs and decisions that are going on for you, start to take a look at that, get your eyes on it. And these are the things that are holding you back rather than embracing the life and your potential, because you are full of potential, but because of a way of thinking or way of perceiving things could be limiting you in that expression. So you're playing small, you're holding back, you're considering other people's opinions. Not that I'm saying it's not important to factoring other people's opinions, but they don't necessarily have your experience. They don't necessarily have your strengths, what you bring to the table. So their ideas of you could be limited. So it's breaking out of that kind of box. So again, to go deeper into what I mean about a distorted reality, or rather the reality, each one of us is creating the world that we live in with every thought, every word, and every action we take. Our reality is completely of our own making, based on perceptions and filters through which we view life. It's difficult, and I totally get it, having been there myself and still working through what I'm working through. It's difficult to admit that we created all the good and all the bad in our lives, but taking responsibility for ourselves and how we show up in the world is how we grow. And that's my invitation to you, and to consciously create the world we live in, because you've got to be the things that you want. And it takes courage, it takes knowledge, it takes understanding, embodiment to get there. And I would also invite you to consider openness and adaptability, because whatever comes up for you might give an indication, particularly if it's uncomfortable, that you've got opportunity to take a step and make what necessary changes. So it's a willingness to do what it takes to create the reality you want, because it is on you based on what I just said. So it's looking at things that, like controlling yourself. I did a video on that last week. I invite you to watch that. Pursuing a purpose. Again, this is all taking ownership and accountability, and that's very much on you. No one can do it for you. You can enroll others in your vision. You can inspire others, but at the end of the day, you are responsible for your reality. You're responsible for creating what it is you want to create, and no one can do it for you. So that's the ownership part. Having integrity, doing the things you say you do, being committed, and if it's required, taking steps to restore integrity when you're out of alignment. So what might that look like? That might be if you say you're going to commit to, like me, I say I commit once a week to doing these lives because I believe it's helpful, and certainly to the women I support. I know I do have men following my content, and I also know that they send it on to their daughters, which I'm very appreciative of, because it helps with spreading the word. But the point is, I know when I'm out of integrity and I don't show up, I do what it takes to course correct. There might be a different number of factors that cause that to happen, but it's taking ownership, accountability and responsibility for the ways I show up. So again, look inwards and see what's there for you in terms of being in when you're out of integrity, and what steps you can personally take to restore them if you've made a commitment to self or others in your process of going for what goals, what achievements, what it is you want to go out there, create and bring to life. So it's taking responsibility for behaviours, particularly the unhealthy ones that have impact on self or others. So that requires awareness. You can't do it without it, because you can't change what you're not aware of. So the invitation is always to go inwards, introspection and retrospection, to go back over the day's events. What could I have done better? What could I learn from the experience? What is the opportunity for me moving forward based on what you've gathered as evidence and data to support if change needs to take place? And to make a decision, make a choice, and to go for it, because I did promise that when I announced the live this afternoon, activation is taking action. Too many times I see the talk, but I don't necessarily see the walk, and often it could be years down the line, which is missed opportunity, and there's no progress. Because talking is just that, talking. Take action is being prepared to fail, being prepared for missteps, being prepared for mistakes. It is how you're going to learn. You're not going to learn through perfection. Perfection comes, well, it's not really perfection, but we're imperfect, because things are going to get in the way, unforeseen or not. But it's taking committed, imperfect action, consistent, committed, imperfect action. So how can you look at the world that you live in, and what can you do to reframe what you say? And think about the ways you can do that, looking at things at every possible action. It helps to open out, give you a wider view of what's going on around you, because it's going to help you read the world so that you are of it, not in it, if that makes sense. Hopefully I've got that the right way round. So it takes self-control, it takes emotional intelligence, and it also takes defining what success looks like for you, because what I deem success, big or small, is going to look different for you. And too often we're measured by other people's idea of what success looked like. Somebody else's success might be the picket fence, marriage, kids. There's nothing wrong with that. Somebody else's might be commitment to projects, commitment to community. It could be building a legacy. It could be creating something like Einstein, what he brought to the world with his gifts. But it didn't happen straight away. It took a lot of mistakes. I just realised my my earpiece has decided to want to charge. So hopefully you can hear me. It takes sticking through it no matter what, trying and trying again. So maybe a helpful place if you find yourself in moments of self-doubt, lacking in confidence, it's normal. Be okay with that. Be okay as much as you can with it, and maybe take some time to reflect on your track record of achievements, goals, what you wanted to create, what you wanted to build, or the effect or result that you've intended in your success with that. Maybe write a list so that you can reference it on those hard days where nothing's going right, it's maybe going wrong, it's not how you thought it would be. Have that list available to you as inspiration to keep going, or maybe even course correct. I say that because it could also be possible that if you've created from a place where it's not really what you want, it's perhaps what you've been told by society or through parenting or through being convinced by others what's available to you, it might give you a place to look so that you can say, okay, this is what I can take from it and this is what I can leave behind because it's not relevant to me. And that takes courage to admit when something is not for you. It's okay to let that go. So you really got to know what to stop wasting your time on. This is something I speak on a lot. And be okay with being unconventional in your process, moving at your own pace, choosing what is best for you. And underpinning that would be, for me, and I'm sure you'll hear various people saying the same thing, but underpinning that in your focus is self-care, self-love, self-awareness, which I've already mentioned, being able to take correction, correcting yourself. So it's unlearning, learning what you need to learn, because the responsibility is on you to learn what you need. No longer expect that from other people. I mean, I'm here. But that said, if you're taking responsibility, accountability and ownership, then the onus is on you to take on board what resonates and take action on it. And obviously grounding yourself in reality, which is what I'm talking about now. So it's seeing the world as it really is, how you're currently operating in it, and what beliefs or decisions are shaping your reality. So the secret is shifting your focus from what you don't want to what you do want, and becoming aware of your limiting beliefs and decisions so that you can move forward and grow. And that takes taking a closer look at your thought patterns. I've discussed this on previous videos, which I'll invite you to watch or re-watch if you haven't already done so. And to see what's holding you back from the profound realizations that you can have the reality, because that is on you. And that's knowledge of self, because knowledge of self is power. And that is your power, how you drive yourself internally, not externally, not the control of the people, places, things. It don't work. Take it from somebody who knows. It doesn't work at all. What does work is tapping into what's inside of you and actively applying that knowledge of what you've learned about self and actively working on your mindset, your mental fitness, because we're going into an era of serious change. It's being accelerated by AI, and either you get on the train or you will be left behind. I can't stress that enough. And you do not want to be left behind, because before you know it, you're going to be under the control of somebody else, and you're not going to want that. And I don't want that for you. So I've got a few questions for you to ponder. What am I choosing to focus on? What do I really desire? And what am I willing to do to get there? Some deeper questions for you to ask of self. Ponder that, if you will. So I mentioned artist, think like an artist, think like an engineer, and there's rationale to that. So artist, creative, right? It's non-linear creativity. You don't know how and when inspiration will hit or takes shape. So I've spoken to this before. Something I offer the ladies that I support is richer meaning of life, mindfulness, and I deposit their resources, or have done in the past. Practice of mindfulness has so many benefits. I've been practicing for a long time, but the key one is being present in the here and now, because if I'm not in the here and now, because that's all that matters, I'm either stuck in my past, and the worst thing you could do is operate from there, because usually when you operate from there, it's a protective mechanism, and it's not going to support you, because whatever threats or perceived threats were there are not there any longer. So again, when I mention limiting beliefs, limiting decisions, if you're acting from the emotions based from your past, that's something to look at and to review and to unpack for yourself, because it is going to have an impact on how you observe the world. And when I talk about observe the world in the context of an artist, is to really look for inspiration out there, and that's all around you. If it's not inspire you, let it go. Unfollow, delete, block, whatever it takes. Be guardian of your temple, your mental temple, what you're absorbing, who you're listening to. It's not created equal, but there are going to be some people that are already where you want to be, or there's going to be people, if you're thinking it from a non-linear, not necessarily relatable. And what I mean is relatable, not necessarily relatable to what you do per se, or where you're going, but you recognise you see qualities in them that ignite something in you emotionally that is positive. There's something you can draw from them. So I would invite you to actively seek different perspectives from your own, because I've sort of created for myself my own space where I've got I look to people, influential people that will have a take that I've never considered before, and how I work it back into the things I do. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. Because it's my headpiece again. I can say, okay, this is what I like about what they say. This is what I like about what they're doing. How can I incorporate it into what I'm doing? So see what's there for you. experiment. Artists are always experimenting. Leonardo da Vinci, well-known artist, look at his creations and how he applied it to not only painting, sculptures, try new ways of doing things. If there are things that you do routinely, is there another way you can do it and get the same result? Don't be afraid to disregard what doesn't resonate. I'm trying to think if it doesn't. I'm trying to think of something that I said to somebody the other day. I can't believe I've got. Basically, if it doesn't resonate, let it go. Don't get attached. Detach. It's very useful. Sometimes you can be, this resonates, because it also depends on your frame of mind. But always consider a different perspective from your own in that. So are you pushing back because you don't like the message or you don't like the messenger? That might be a deeper place to look, because sometimes it's not so much that the messenger is we don't like the message because there's some truth in there that appears confronting to us. So that's useful to be aware of that, because that is a limitation, that there's some belief operating for you that makes you think that this person or the thing is not for you. Just challenge that, challenge the norm, whatever's normal for you. Experiment, I've mentioned. I'm going to go now to engineer sort of mindset. They define problems, and that is seeking clarity. And the only way you're going to seek clarity is to understand your reality, understand the problems you're having, because you are going to have problems. It's impossible. No one is problem free. That's just not possible. But if you're clear on the root cause, so you're at the cause rather than the effect, as they say. The effect is symptoms, so to speak, in the context of what I'm talking about now, you're going to look for solutions rather than continue to add to the problems. And that's going to require a different side of the brain, which is being analytical, using logic and reasoning. And it has to be based on data and evidence to be able to make informed decisions. And I would also invite you to look at your patterns, especially the thought patterns, as I mentioned earlier, and the unhealthy behaviours, unhealthy copes, because we all have them, and it does take time, which is why I always mention compassion for self, for you to be able to extend that to others, and empathy in your experience, because you're going to be bumping up against stuff. And that's okay, that's the human experience. But to give yourself grace in working through whatever's coming up for you, because like it or not, sometimes you have to ask yourself if you are the problem. So that might be self-sabotage. It could be you've got some limiting belief that's going on for you. Like I can remember one of from childhood, money doesn't grow on trees, and it was a basis of a lack, scarcity mindset, and there was other sort of beliefs around the not enough, unworthiness. And when you take a closer look, and then you take a look at how it shows up for you, the ways you operate with that thinking, then you can see how you limit yourself and not see opportunities that are available to you because you think you think a certain way. And it does take time to uncover unlimited beliefs, unlimited decisions. It's probably not the best example to offer, but I'm going to go with it for now. I can't be perfect, I'm imperfect. So I could be honest about that, but see what's there for you in my share. Engineers also focus on efficiency for me. It's very much about how I manage my energy and where I direct it and being practical and effective. So anywhere where it's not reciprocated or anywhere it's not giving me some sort of return, I can disinvest and do so unapologetically. So that's one area to look. Efficiency, how can you enhance your current skills? How can you enhance your current strengths? Play to your strengths, manage your weaknesses or your areas of development as best you can, because it's going to be a lifelong learning in developing the appropriate mentality and mindset to then go ahead and add colour to your world, to add sort of the key strokes, the brush strokes of an artist that makes whatever it is you create, whatever it needs to be. It takes time, it takes finesse, which is developed over time. It doesn't happen overnight. So it's moving between linear and non-linear, not necessarily straight lines. It can be circular. It can be, it can look a bit messy. It can be unconventional. It could be there's a lot of failure. It could be missteps. Look at the gift, opportunity, lesson in your experience. So I'm going to finish up now. Hopefully you can still hear me. So it's going to take harmony. When I talk about harmony, I talk about harmony in self and then extend that out to the greater world, because you're considering the needs of others, other people, the environment, resources, what have you, critical thinking, curiosity, which I haven't mentioned up until now, I believe, being curious. And there's always another way to look at something. So if you didn't have, if money wasn't a constraint, what would you be doing? Sort of open up your thinking, explore a bit more unrelatable things, the things that you derive pleasure or joy from, that does no harm to self or others. How can you bring that into your daily life? And then taking aboard the things I said about artists and engineers as a mindset, how can you bring that together as an idea? Effective communication will also play a part, because I mentioned about enrolling others to your vision, enrolling others, or inspiring, influencing others, because we don't do control. It doesn't work. Let go of that. Sorry, that's my earpiece again. Collaboration spirit. Collaborate. Is there somebody in your network that perhaps can help you fill areas that you may need to work on, lean on them to support and reciprocate that. So is there something that you can give them and something you can receive from them that is balanced, that can help you get to what is meaningful, what is fulfilling to you. So again, it's taking the approach that it's life learning experience. So thank you for those that hopped on. I appreciate you. I hope you got value. I really would appreciate like, comment and share. If I see that you're watching, I don't know if you're still here now, but I'd really appreciate it if you can like, comment and share. It does certainly help inspire me to continue to do this work to support others. If you're interested in talking to me and seeing what is there deeper for you, I can help you with what I've shared, some tools, techniques, resources. Send me a message or book a consult. There should be Linktree available depending on where you see this video, because I am going to upload it to YouTube. So again, to recap, look to observe your reality, see what's there, get clear, seek to problem solve, create solutions, operate from a place of a beginner's mindset. And what I mean from that is learn, unlearn, relearn, because that's what it's going to take to effect change. We can't change what we are not aware of. Have a willingness to try new things or to upgrade behaviours. I'll say that again. Have a willingness to try new things and to upgrade behaviours. So that's me done, and I'll catch you next week.